leaves are turning brown.
Autumn is fast approaching, and I am in need of a complete reset. Some people say autumn is the end. To me, it is only a beginning. A time when I feel alive, when days are endlessly cozy, slow and warm. When creativity flourishes with new strength before winter covers the world with its eerie cold veil. I crave coffee and hot chocolate more often, cozying up with a cup as the day comes to an end noticeably earlier. And soon I will start waking up with dawn, running out to meet a late sunrise. Today I experienced the season's first foggy morning, something I dreamed about all summer. The air was crisp, yet the sun still warm and gentle. Milky blankets stretched above endless hills, dew droplets melting on browning grass and the remaining wildflowers. Mushrooms of all kinds already poking out of the ground, and the woods still filled with voices of thousands of restless birds. Oh yes, I'm one of those people who would base their entire personality around autumn. And the more I do it, the more I realize that I am not alone. What I did not expect is that there is an entire community of people who experience this deep and irrevocable love for this golden, moody, magical season. And I feel happy that I found my kindred spirits here. To me, it's all about candle burning, cozy thick blankets and feel-good movies to rewatch and repeat for the entirety of the season. About mushroom spotting in the woods, listening to owl hoots in the dark and spending early mornings walking through the foggy paths. This is what I wanted to explore in my paintings too. About a month ago, I bought a set of gouache paints, as I wanted to try this medium alongside watercolors. I painted a series of whimsical woodland pictures inspired by my life in the countryside and the magical woods I have around me. I haven't been painting as often as I would have liked to lately. However, 6 months into this journey, I feel like this is something I was meant to do all along. Somehow this year I took a leap and started painting without learning or much preparation, and it felt like the most natural thing to do. I simply knew that it will work out, and if I spent much longer time on deciding to do it, I don't think I would have done it at all. Just like with this painting today, I didn't have a plan. I had no idea what I wanted to create, except for the feelings I wanted it to invoke. I simply went with what it feels like. When I stay in tune with my feelings instead of silencing them as I often do, something magical inevitably appears. I think this is the biggest lesson I have learned this year, to let myself take the leap despite fear or discomfort. I am a creature of habit and endless preparation. Doing something without feeling ready fills me with deepest sense of anxiety, yet so far challenging myself this way has been the best thing I've ever done. I visited Oxford on this quiet, late August evening. A city I live so close to but seem to forget is magnificent in the endless whirlwind of everyday life. I wanted to go on a late museum date, ideally, or perhaps sit somewhere in a quiet cafe. But oh well, things close early here in Oxford, and all what was left is to wander its old streets that are akin to a museum themselves. I went to a beautiful bookshop, one of the biggest in the city, in search for witchy autumn inspiration. I only had 15 minutes to explore before closing time. Instead of a witchy autumn book, I picked up something I've been looking for ages. Letters to a Young Poet from Rilke. His words always aim straight into my heart, and I get lost in them forever. Sometimes when I really think about it, I realize how marvelous it is that we are still able to behold so much beauty and so much history in this world. How every path, every road, every step has been walked and explored by someone before us. How someone built these grand, magnificent buildings, sat on these same old steps reading a book, lived their lives on these very streets only multiple hundreds of years ago. Sometimes, when things start to feel too mundane and these grand cities that surround me turn into too much of a routine, I try to recognize when it happens and seek moments of solemn quietude in a space that has become too familiar. I visit early in the morning or late in the evening, after crowds have passed and a dim light illuminates the cobbled streets. In these moments I can hear the voices of the past, and I start to appreciate beauty once again. I want to savor these strange in-between days for as long as possible. Go on a long evening walk and pick ripe blackberries, the remaining ones that haven't been eaten by wasps and birds just yet. I only pick a bunch, leaving the rest for the hungry creatures. I feel like summer always leaves me slightly burnt out. I always have so much hope for it. I think we all do. All the things we'd do, the places we'd see, the waters we'd swim in. Yet the heat leaves us tired, and lack of time for all these things leaves us slightly disappointed. But I hope this new season brings us a breath of fresh air. The courage to start anew, to do the things we've always wanted, to live and exist and experience life without any regrets. To heal our souls and find a quiet moment to look inwards, realize that life isn't meant to be figured out completely, but rather experienced in all its variety of seasons and colors. I want to leave you today with this pondering. I realize that perhaps this video doesn't carry any deep meaning or usefulness, perhaps, which I usually try to reach from within myself. It's rather a collection of moments, snippets from the days past, but sometimes perhaps we should simply let our minds rest without much of a reason. I hope to see you again soon. Thank you for watching.